You only got one chance to do this. I don't get to do my career over again. I changed my attitude, changed my approach to the game, and I just decided that I wasn't going to be just a third down player anymore. I decided that I am a starter. I'm going to prove myself in this league, and anybody that says I'm not, I'm going to do everything in my power to shut them up. I just worked on my knowledge and awareness of the game, obviously my experience and what I've learned from past seasons and what I learned from watching myself, through the tape and the things that I could have done better. I worked on them. Legendary coach named Pete Jenkins. I don't know if you are familiar with him. I spent probably the last 4 or 5 years working with him every summer. I almost never miss his camp unless I've got something personal going on. I always go to his camp. It's repetitive, but it's necessary. He's a legendary coach that knows what he's doing, and all of his teachings, I literally took them to heart. I met him when I was in Miami, and ever since then, my game has just done that. It's just increased. And I went to him this summer. You can call him and ask him if you want. I was there, and just his teachings have just done wonders in my career and in my life. So
I think Pete Carroll's quote when he was in here was that Devin White is back.
Where you been?
What does it make you feel? And I guess do you feel the same way?
I feel comfortable, feel healthy, I feel thankful, and I feel hungry. You know what I'm saying? Back, still got to prove it to the world on each and every Sunday, Monday or whatever, Thursday night. And I got to prove it to my team every day I step in the building. It's just a mindset. But I think Coach P just see me having a lot of fun with the game again. No pressure on me, just going out there and do what I've been doing my whole life, just having fun. So if me having fun on the field with my guys is me being back, then I'm glad to be back.
Devin, you had an interception today in practice where it was pretty deep down the field. Do you feel like that highlights, even through the injuries, you still have really great speed at the position, sideline to sideline, can cover deep down the field?
Yeah, I think that's what my game is, just being able to run to the ball, see the ball, and have good ball skills, just being an athletic linebacker. When I came out, that's who I wanted to be known for, run, hit, tackle, make plays, get sacks, get turnovers. And I've been showing it all camp, I've been showing it all camp. So I just want to stay consistent with that. First day of pass was yesterday, had a great day. They asked me, could I do it 2 days in a row? I said, I'm going to do it every day I get on the field. That's just the standard that I set for myself. That's the standard I want to set for the defense, and that's what I want the team to see when I'm even competing against the other side. They want to say 45, he bring it every time he step on the field. So whether I'm making plays or somebody else making plays, I'm going to bring the juice, and I'm going to have my teammates back and hopefully they have mine, which I know they will because they've been showing it all camp. Also, man, I was going through a lot mentally. I had a lot going on. A lot of people don't know. Growing up, my father was incarcerated for a long time. And then he got out, and he was, very supportive. And we had our little run-ins where, we kind of pulled away from each other a little bit. And then we got back cool with one another. And then, unfortunately, my father passed. So it kind of put me just in a bad spot, a bad spot in life mentally. Just didn't care no more, because I finally found that love. If it's a lot of men in this room growing up, you want to be like your dad. That's your role model. And I didn't have that. I had to look at my mom. She was my Superman, even though she was a woman. And my mentor, Coach Houston, he the one who got me to play football. And them the two that I looked up to because I just didn't have them. And to get something that you never had and then to get it taken right back from you, it just make you not care about nothing. So, I battled that, alone. Levante knew what I was going through. He lost his dad, and it was hard, man. It was hard on me, just because I didn't have it. Like, it probably was easy on him because he always had his dad, and, man, he helped me get through it and didn't really care about football at the time when that was going on. My injury was going on. Just a lot was going through my head, and I was out of it, and my mama told me if you don't want to do it, you don't have to. You done overcame a lot, just where we come from, going D1, graduating, making money, taking care of my whole family, taking care of myself, just doing everything I wanted in life, was able to win a Super Bowl And she was like, you can give up, you know, and when she said that, that just lit a fire under me, like, give up, like, that ain't me, that never been me. And I don't want to feel sorry for myself, you know, I just want to go out there and I want to just get back to having fun. And, you know, I just pray a lot, man. I get into my word a lot, and I think just, you know, that was my time to get closer to God, you know, for whatever reasons that it had to happen like that, it did. I'm thankful, and, you know, I'm vulnerable, you know, and I reach out to people. I talk to a lot of people. I went to counseling and everything, and I'm just happy to be back here. I'm back smiling, and, you know I got a greater purpose in life.
When you look back at last year's experience, how important was it for you to, in your own mind, kind of establish a baseline for yourself? It's going to grow from there, but just a baseline of NFL success for you as you go now into year 2.
So from last year, last year I was just out there trying to get on top of the game, you know, coming in late from training camp. I came here first the week before we played, you know, week 1, and just trying to learn the plays. I was trying to learn our philosophy on the defense, you know, how we operate, you know, how do we attack offenses, and, you know, being able to now transition to this year where I'm still under the same coaches on the defense, and you know, being able to stack on top of last year. I'm very comfortable in the defense. Even though we changed some things, you know, I'm still, you know, used to these coaches, how they coach. I know their mindset. I know what they want to see. I know how they want me to be out there and play. And, you know, especially learning my brothers on the D-line, being next to Max and AB and Malk and all them boys, just understanding how they're about to play and knowing, you know, how I'm going to fit off of them, and, you know, having good communication. We have good ways of, you know, telling each other what's about to happen. And, you know, I'm excited, and, you know, I feel much more comfortable out there compared to last year for sure.
You know, last year you were kind of coming in trying to learn the plays, but now you're kind of expected to potentially be a starter for this team. Does it change anything at all, or does it stay the same?
I think one thing that has changed a little bit is my confidence in myself. Last year, especially as a rookie year, and the situation I was in, I was trying to catch up. I felt like I was so far behind. And, you know, this year, one thing I think has changed, and I've talked to PG about this personally, is having unbridled confidence. And, you know, I'm still trying to get into that mode. And it's happened sometimes where at practice I'll get into a mode where, you know, you feel like nobody can block you. And that's something that you can't really coach. That's something that comes from experience that, you know, I feel like a lot of dominant NFL players can say that they felt that way. And, you know, that's and AB even talked to me about this. It's your attitude. It's about having that feeling, knowing like you're about to go whoop the person in front of you. And I think that's probably one of the biggest changes I've had from last year is I've gained a lot more confidence. I'm not saying, you know, that I'm the best in the world, all this, but I'm saying like it does make a big difference, you know, having that confidence of visually seeing yourself, what you're about to do, anticipating what the offense is about to do, and understanding how you're about to attack it and make a play.
I said it before that you don't realize how good it is until it's taken away from you, so it's nice to be out there.
Is there any part of the game in particular that, I mean, you feel you were able to, even though you weren't on the field last year, that maybe you got better in without even being there?
I would say you get to see more of like the formations and kind of understanding football more when you're not playing. And like I feel like being a D lineman or being like on the edge, you have like such like a little window that you're looking through most of the time. So seeing the bigger picture and seeing like understanding like schemes and stuff like that better. So I guess that just trying to be just guys with our hair on fire. Just try to get after the ball, 110% every play. We always got to be in the picture at the end of the play. So just getting after it. That's it.